The rain had started pouring furiously all of a sudden. I headed into the nearest cafe as fast as I could, trying not to get wet. I ordered a coffee and sat behind a small table at the other end of the room, by the window. Other than me, there were a couple of young guys discussing global issues while eating. I gazed outside a window as I finished my coffee. I was waiting for the rain to pass, or at least become less intense, so I could exit the cafe and be on my way home. While all of this passed, I began to notice something across the street. At first, I thought someone was standing on the opposite sidewalk under the rain. But when I looked more closely, I realized the thing actually looked like the see-through outline of some creature that could only be seen thanks to the heavy rain pouring over it, now appearing as a translucent figure. Good God, what in the world is that? I pressed my face to the cold, steamy glass of the coffee shop window so I could get a better look. I wasn't wrong. It was still out there. The invisible man, or I don't know, perhaps the invisible woman. Whatever it was, it looked spectacular, covered in raindrops. The translucent creature under the rain shifted slightly, and now I started to feel as though it was noticing me, or perhaps it had been looking straight at me from the get-go. I couldn't tell. I looked back inside. A group of men and women, soaking wet, running from the rain just like me, had also sought shelter in the cafe. More customers were in now, and yet none of them were looking out the window. Nobody except me had caught sight of the invisible being under the rain. I should get close to it and see what it is. By God, if it suddenly disappears now, I will forever blame myself for not approaching it when I could have. I paid for the coffee, left a few coins on the table as a tip, and quickly ran out of the cafe. The thing was still out there. Now I could get a better look. There he was, a tall and obviously half-transparent man who was standing right in front of me. Across the street, looking directly at me, he was really staring at me. Nervous as I was, and while I tried the best I could not lose sight of him, I approached it carefully. Then all of a sudden, I heard a car horn go off, followed by the sound of a brake screeching. I turned around, the car was coming right at me. I was terrifying, stunned in place, but something pushed me hard by the sides, throwing me back on the sidewalk. The car moved past the now empty spot where I was just standing and stopped a few meters away. Oh dear God, oh dear God. He saved me, he saved me. There I was, sitting on the sidewalk, in total shock. I looked toward my surroundings, searching for the man under the rain. But there was no sign of him. Good God, he didn't let me get hit by the car. He saved my life. Now the rain stopped, just as rapidly as it had started. And he wasn't there anymore. Most of you guys who are watching our videos haven't subscribed to us yet. Well, that's just too bad. So please, if you like our videos and would really like to support our channel, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll get notified every time there's a new video uploaded. Oh, and don't forget to give us a like. If you decide you don't like the video, well, you can always come back and change that. Thank you, and please enjoy the rest of the video. Not very long that you've been in a coma. 72 hours isn't that much. You had a terrible accident, but everything is going to be fine now. This face in the mirror, it's not me. This man, it can't be me. No need to worry at all. You're disoriented, experiencing memory loss. It's quite natural. See, you're able to speak now. You can stand on your feet. Let's take that as a good sign. What are you saying, doctor? You mean I can tell what my own face looks like? Having lived 45 years, what have you done to me? Your brain had suffered an irremediable damage when they brought you in. We didn't think that you would come out of coma, or at least come out so soon. The recovery could have taken months under normal circumstances, but with you, miraculously enough, it happened rather quickly. Tell me the truth, doctor. What sort of recovery are we talking about? Let me be frank with you. I have not seen anything like this, but I know for sure that the brain can sometimes restore its rewiring mechanism. You mean to tell me that my brain's been damaged so much that I can't even remember my own face? Precisely. This type of confusion and amnesia is completely expected. Get back to your bed, try rest a bit. I will check you again tomorrow. Where are my clothes? I mean, after the accident when they brought me to the hospital, what did you do with the clothes that I was wearing? They're right here in the closet, but if you ask me, not much is left of them. Could you please get me my wallet from my trousers pocket? That is, if it is still there. Sure thing. I need to make sure of something. Here's your wallet. Found it. Could you bring it over, please? I don't think there's anything wrong with my head, doctor. Have a look at this photo. This is my ID card, doctor. I'm the man in this photo. Whatever happened to me in that goddamn accident? Whose body is that I'm occupying now? This is the fourth one reported. Don't take it too seriously. Got to take these cases with a pinch of salt. You mean you don't believe in reincarnation? Well, to be honest, no. Does this mean you dismiss all the books and papers written on this subject? You see, I think they've built a whole industry around this reincarnation theory where so-called experts write books about it and keep selling them, hold seminars, and dupe their unsuspecting clients into believing that they'll come back in another life. I think as long as ghosts are apparently things that roam about our lives, we're going to be dealing with these stories. Are you saying that all the people who've talked about their previous life are nothing but frauds? Not necessarily. These people have mostly been wrongly influenced by their therapist's fraudulent incentives. Research in this matter has shown that believing in reincarnation is possibly linked to our false memories or cryptomentia. Why would therapists want to instill such thoughts in their patients? I mean, how would this work? There are many cases where people have provided accurate information from their previous life or even spoken languages that they didn't know at all before. How would you explain that? Let's see. Have you ever heard about the case of Bertie Murphy? Bertie Murphy? No. Well, it's one of the most well-known previous life and reincarnation stories. In 1952, a woman from Colorado named Virginia Tighe claimed to have been an Irish woman called Bertie Murphy in her previous life. A woman who lived in 19th century in Ireland. This amazing claim was first brought up the same year in a hypnosis session held by Murray Bernstein. While under hypnosis, Virginia Tighe began reciting with an Irish accent memories from her past life during 800s in the city Cork, Ireland. She recalled being born on September 20th, 1789, how she lived, married, and eventually died in 1864. So what happened next? Well, Virginia's claim sounded very convincing at first. She had never been to Ireland and probably couldn't have known many of the details she recalled unless she had lived through them a century ago. So after the whole matter, Bernstein, Virginia's hypnotist, wrote a book on the experience, which became a bestseller. If you ask me, that basically proves Virginia's claims to be right, and it is also validate the reincarnation theory. Well, yes, up until then, it all sounded plausible. But you see, Virginia's narrative began to fall apart when reporters traveled to Ireland to investigate. How so? While some general claims of Virginia turned out to be true, there was never any evidence found that corroborated the majority of her memories. No background information, no written account of this Bertie Murphy that could prove her existence was found. No record of her birth or death date was discovered either. Oh, you just said that Bertie Murphy lived in early 800s. You've got to admit that recovering birth certificates from the era could be a little tricky. For one, the records could have been destroyed. That still doesn't disprove Virginia's claims, let alone make us disregard them as false memories. You said yourself that a number of her points were corroborated, and you said she spoke with an Irish accent. Well, the story didn't end there. Sometime later, it was found out that during her childhood, Virginia Tyke was very close with a neighbor who happened to be an Irish immigrant called Bertie Murphy, and that she had learned from her details about Ireland and even taken up some of her Irish accent. Oh. It seems that Virginia's therapist and his book publisher were so desperate about using this opportunity to become famous and make some profit that they forgot to thoroughly check Virginia's story against historical facts. So, was Virginia Tyke a fraud? Well, many believe that she had intentionally fabricated the whole story, but that's unlikely. Also, there is a chance that she had subconsciously come up with the entire thing based on portions of her memories and a little bit of imagination. Decades of psychological research shows that when in a hypnotic state, people can very vividly describe events in first-person mode, in full detail. Events they may have not experienced in their lifetime. But what about other cases? I've got time. We can discuss those too.